Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new dragon video. Without further ado, let's get started. We're here at the Big H Boutique in Monte Carlo in Monaco. We have been to many Hermes boutiques and we've gotten lucky sometimes to get a Birkin or Kelly. We know how it works, but the store is out of control. Very rude essays. I didn't get his name. As usual, you need to buy things you like and ask if they have a bag in stock. What he said is that people always do that ask me for items and they'll ask me for a bag, which is a no-no. Which Big H store will give you a Birkin and Kelly without buying anything? I hope others didn't experience that. Yeah, exactly. No Big H store is doing that, regardless of what the Pegasus unicorns say. Not in 2025. Okay, a few things. I think you have to be clear that you're going to buy those pieces. I was actually speaking to a Glamazon about this. I think it's a tough sell, particularly the European boutiques. If you rock up there, looking snatched, and you have, a big bag of money, a big check, can you churn a bag in there? I think you probably can. I think you need to have significant amounts of money. I don't know about talking to the essays very directly in Europe. The European Big H essays are very they're not as direct as essays from other cultures. They're not as direct in terms of discussing loyalty. They don't really like it when you discuss loyalty. I think it's because they want it to be more of a dance, between you and the essay. So I think being like, oh, I'm going to buy these, can you give me a bag? I think you need to be clear that you're going to buy them and then be like, oh, by the way, is there Birkin or Kelly? I'll let you know how I get on in Europe this year when we go to Big H. But I think you're gonna have to definitely be clear that you're buying stuff. And also, we don't know what they picked up. Did you pick up jewelry, prêt-à-porter, and stuff like that? If you picked up like a click bracelet, then they're gonna be like, oh no, you don't need to buy anything. It's just a wish list. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna say that's someone who's buying expensive fine jewelry. The next one is the Prague boutique for Big H in the Czech Republic. I had a very unpleasant shopping experience here. The customer service was extremely poor. The staff refused to help me find a scarf and responded very rudely to everything, simply saying they don't have it. Big H essays have made it clear in my dragon videos, if you have been watching all of them, that they do not like people coming to buy scarves. This is not me. If you watch these videos, you know that I come to you guys, I share what's going on in the shops based on people's reviews, and they have made it very clear. Do not come to our stores to ask for scarves only. You have to buy other things. Once you go in there and you're like, you know what, I just want to buy scarves, I think that they feel like you're not going to spend real money with them because you're buying the scarf. I've said this before. Big H will stop making scarves if you don't want people coming and asking for scarves. Stop making scarves. Stop it, okay? The next one is the Big H boutique in Dubai, in the UAE, at the Dubai Mall location. This is probably the worst luxury experience we've ever had in Dubai. We wanted to try on the Apple Watch bracelet, which is on display at, say, the Apple store. The minute we put it on, the security came on after us. I'm talking about a basic leather strap, nothing fancy. Turns out you can only touch something if someone from Big H hands it to you. How do you know this? And there are no signs. You can touch things at the store. There are no signs out there. What I'm saying is state your rules clearly. Right now, you're treating your potential clients as if they're students. One thing is for certain, we're not going back to Big H. Honestly, I would have just bought the Apple Watch Big H thing at the Apple store. This is one of the most competitive locations to be an Hermes shopper. Many Glamazons are from the Middle East. Shout out to you guys. And many Glamazons have told me the boutiques in Dubai are incredibly expensive. I mean, they're incredibly difficult to succeed at. So you have this location, you have the boutique at the Mall of the Emirates, you also have a boutique, I think in Abu Dhabi, there's also a store. It's very competitive. I wouldn't go in there trying to buy an Apple Watch. Me personally, I wouldn't. I would just get it at the Apple store where I know I'm not going to get dragged. You're gonna get dragged. I mean, I don't know what else people want me to say. Same location, the Dubai Mall in the UAE for Big H. I waited over an hour. I asked for water twice. I was ignored both times. The staff couldn't care less. When they finally showed up, they threw boxes at me like I was a burden, not a customer. Rude, arrogant, and completely lacking manners. For a brand like Big H, this is embarrassing. If you want respect, don't bother. I mean, it's tough in these locations where there's a lot of competition for quota bags and for items in general. I remember speaking to a glamazon from Dubai who was saying there's competition for everything, even orans in specific colors and specific sizes. People have already pre-purchased them, like, so that when they arrive, they've already been allocated to clients. We're talking about orans, which are just shoes. They're not quota pieces. They're not supposed to be hard to get. They should be walk-in at any location. I've heard from many glamazons in the Middle East who said the Middle Eastern locations across the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait are incredibly difficult to be successful. Even just buying like other items like orans and shikras and so on and so forth. The next one is the Mall of the Emirates, Big H. 1,000% agreed with all the low reviews here. They're not looking for customers' loyalty, but they're more looking for ad hoc big spenders. I have talked about this before. I've been with this brand in Dubai for almost 10 years and at my home store for more than 15 years. I may not spend 100K in one visit, but throughout, I think she means 100,000 dirhams, which I think is about 27, it's what? It's about 100,000 dirhams is, I'll put it on the screen, but I think it's about 27,000 USD. I may not spend 100K in one visit, but throughout the years, I've spent several 100,000 in both shops. They make me feel like I'm a kid who has to constantly beg for sweets. I'm not even talking about asking for a quota bag. We've talked about this. Sadly, the essays have their preference for the big spenders and they'll neglect the rest. Most of all, both shops operate as their own, so whatever you spend in one store doesn't count. Yep, I've heard this before from glamazons from the UAE that it doesn't count. So what you spend at the Mall of the Emirates doesn't count in what you spend in Abu Dhabi. So whatever you spend in one store doesn't equate to your overall spending, even though they're both in Dubai. Big H Dubai should look at customers regardless of what store they go to and which SA they shop from. Well, I think that the problem with this review is like, this person's obviously a long-standing customer of Big H, but that's a fundamental part of Big H's business model. Big H should not want you to shop at one store, go to another store, go to another store. Presumably, they also want to decrease the amount of people trying to get quota bags from different stores, and then also, you know what I'm about to say, the R word, relationship. They want you to build a relationship, read purchase history, with like one person at one store, or preferably just one store. I have talked about this for a long time since I've been covering this brand on this channel, that the brand and luxury in general are looking for the top big spenders. That is what they're looking for. I have been told off. People have also dragged me. Oh, that's not true. Blah, blah, blah. They are. Like, listen to what the girls are saying from different boutiques around the world, particularly locations like this. Like, Dubai is by the way, very close to Dar. These are the boutiques that are closest to me. I still feel like I have a better chance in Europe. I think I could compete in Europe a bit more. But everything I've heard about these stores, I would love to, see them in person, and God willing, I will, go to the Middle East one day. But like, I've heard that they're so competitive for bags, and they are so competitive. The next one is the Big H boutique at Sloane Street in London at Cadogan Place. The staff at the door asked what we were looking for, and I told her we were interested in small bags. She added us to the system queue and told us to wait. After 20 minutes, an SA came to assist. When we told her we were after small bags, she said she didn't handle leather goods and someone else would have to come to help. So they keep talking. A male SA comes over. We explain it again. We're looking for small bags. He abruptly said there are no bags available. What made it worse was his rude tone. He acted as if he was wasting his time and even said something along the lines of, quote, "My colleague should have already told you." It felt dismissive and unprofessional. After browsing some small leather goods, we didn't find what we liked, so we decided to leave. As we were leaving, he kept repeating it, even though we were told that no bags were available. This whole experience was super frustrating. To make things worse, we saw them showing bags to other customers, which made us feel completely disregarded and lied to. I've said this before in Big H dragging videos. Those of you who are traveling, I don't think it's a good idea when you get to a Big H in another city of the world where you're not a local client. I don't think it's a good idea to be like straight away that you're looking for bags. The situation in London is up and down. The one boutique in London, which many people have said is welcoming to tourists, and tourists have been successful to get a Birkin or Kelly, is Big H in Harrods. But you will be playing the game, and they will expect you to play the game. Now, they said small bags. Small bags can mean many things. It could be a mini Kelly, could be a Kelly pochette, could be a picotin. Picotin, you should be able to get one here. But picotins are also probably very well desired by British clients and local clients, and Londoners, probably also want that bag as well. So one shouldn't assume just because you're after a non-quota bag that there aren't other people who are from London who are trying to get these bags as well. It's really unfortunate, but they don't like when you, from what I have seen in these dragging reviews and also my experience as well in Paris, like if you start off straight away and you're like, can you help me get a bag or whatever, they just really don't like it, and they really, really, really dislike it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, like, based even on my own observations. Of course it's disappointing, but I think it's clear what's going on here. The Big H wants the girls to spend money on other things. I think if you go straight away and you're like, can you help me get a picotin? It's easier for them to shut you down. I remember reading a dragging review like a long time ago, and it was someone from, I think, one of the boutiques in Switzerland, and she was like, straight away, like, at the door, what are you looking for today? I want to get a picotin and Evelyn. We don't have any of those bags today. And then she's like watching someone being offered those bags. Like literally, she can see someone being offered those bags. And it's like, like, why are you doing this? Of course, seeing people being offered bags has to be frustrating, for people. But, again, one doesn't know the context. Did they play the game? Did they run up to the boutique, with £20,000 in cash to drop at the store? We don't know the situation. The next one is the Big H flagship store in America in Madison Avenue, New York. I've been looking forward to visiting Big H and choose a small gift for someone special. Unfortunately, my experience was disappointing. Despite there being 5 or 6 essays, no one acknowledged me or offered me any assistance. Even when I approached them directly and spoke to them, they simply ignored me. I felt invisible. I felt as though I was being looked down upon because I was buying a small item. Whether it was because the size of my purchase, something else, I couldn't help but feel that it was motivated by something else. To make things worse, I was handed a wrinkled paper and the ribbon was carelessly tied in a messy knot. I came to Big H expecting a refined, welcoming shopping experience, but instead I was left feeling disrespected and disappointed. This was really bad customer service. Yeah, this is very unfortunate, but honestly, the last time I was in the US was 2019 for my honeymoon. Went to New York, went to Miami. We had a wonderful time, me and my husband. I don't know when I'm going to the US next, but should I ever visit the US, I'll definitely pass by this boutique and have a look. Me personally, I wouldn't go to this particular store to buy something small. It's just me. I think if I thought I could play the game here, maybe I would go just to look around and chill. If I saw something nice, I'd buy it, but I wouldn't expect them to like run after me because I'm buying something small. But I think going out of your way to buy something small at this location is a recipe for disaster. This is the flagship store for the entire US. Like, this is the flagship Big H store. So this is on the same level as Faubourg Saint-Honoré. It's on the same level as the New Bond Street location in the UK. It's unfortunate, but if you buy something small, Big HSAs really don't like people coming in to buy what they consider small. To you and to most people, Big H scarves are quite pricey. That's a lot of money. But to Big H, it's a small purchase. I'm not saying I agree. I just want to be clear before people come and drag me in these comments. I'm just saying, to the ponytail, it's not a big purchase. Orans are not a big purchase. To the ponytail, I'm not saying I agree, okay? So yeah, again, it's unfortunate. I feel bad for this person because obviously they were affected. But again, I wouldn't go to this store to buy something small and expect them to give me champagne. Same location, Big H, Madison Avenue, New York, USA. It's like a Wendy's. I think Wendy's is an American fast food place, isn't it? What's a Wendy's? What's Wendy's? Oh yeah, Wendy's is like an American fast food restaurant. It's like a Wendy's that takes itself too seriously. It's super packed and the essays are just bad at their jobs. They're very unfriendly. They don't care to know anything about what they're selling. You get treated like a homeless guy at Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts is that donut shop in America that sells the donuts. God, I love donuts. I could use a donut right now. Okay. Our essay's name was XYZ, and she was absolutely atrocious. She didn't even give us a chance to buy anything, and we were ready to spend like 50,000 USD on suitcases for purchase history. I mean, you should be able to churn some really great offer with that in one transaction. She was very rude, and after taking our wish list, refused to let us look or buy anything after waiting 30 minutes. She shouldn't have this job. This is a really tough review to believe, only because If you go into the flagship Big H store in Paris, or you go to New Bond Street in London, any of the top locations in the world, and you're like, I want to buy, you want to buy a bunch of, without saying how much obviously you want to spend, but you make it clear you want to buy a bunch of their suitcases and luggages. Let's be very clear. You know, those are a tough sell. If you have the coins and the bread to buy luxury luggages, you know who to go to. You go to Big LV, baby. Big facts. That's what she does. Like, so it's not an easy sell to shift those luggages. No one's going to sit here and tell me that if you want to buy a trunk, you're going to Big H. Most people would say, I'm going to go to Big LV to buy a trunk. So I don't know. To me, I don't know. This just it feels like there's something a little bit unbelievable about this. Make it clear that you're going to buy 50k USD worth of luggages and then you're not going to be churned a bag. I find that very hard to believe. And to those of you in New York, some of you might be like, oh, it's really competitive there. I agree, but I've heard of success stories at this store, people who spent like 35, 40, 50 bands and have been offered a Birkin or Kelly the same day. There are people who've shared their experiences on Facebook once they have spent the numbers that I've just mentioned. So I find this, honestly, I find this a bit hard to believe, if you ask me. That's quite shocking. But at the same time, it's not. I mean, it also depends like the way they interacted. The next one is the Louis Vuitton New York flagship store on 57th Street. Today I shopped at Louis Vuitton, 4,000, so this person's written out exactly how much they spent. I shopped for 4,230 USD, but the experience was really bad. The SA who attended me wasn't welcoming. There was no smile on his face. He didn't even offer me water, which is a basic courtesy. Despite buying items of my choice, I didn't feel happy or valued. After this, I went to YSL. I had a completely different experience. They welcomed me warmly, offered me water and champagne, despite my purchase being lower at 1,742 US dollars. This review is wild. Person's written exactly what they spent. The contrast between the two experiences was stark. Louis Vuitton's lack of customer service left me deeply disappointed. I have to say, one of my pet peeves about the Dragon videos are people who say how much they spend. Like, honestly, unless you spend more than 20,000, I don't think you should be telling us like how much you spent. Because like 4,230 US dollars is a lot of bread, but not for that store. That's a lot of bread to like someone's independent shop. Like an independent creator with a shop or an independent business owner with a store, that's good coins right there. But not for that particular location. I do not like when people say how much they spend, Same location. The essays here are extremely condescending, and they say things like, well, these are handmade, when everyone who knows this knows that is redundant. Telling us a $1,400 bag is $2,000 is unbelievable. If I'm in the store buying your products, don't tell me, quote, I know it's a lot of money, like I can't afford it, it's ridiculous. I guess I'll be shopping at their competitors who actually sell quality products. They can keep their bags that look lower quality than the ones sold on whatever. Okay. Yeah, this is a tough one, Like, you shouldn't tell a client, like, I know it's a lot of money, because you are implying that the customer can't afford it, and you shouldn't make assumptions on what you think someone can afford. But at the same time, there are some clients who can be a little nitpicky. I remember when I had my shop, sometimes you get people who nitpick everything. I remember once we had a client come into the store, and the way she spoke to us was like none of us had ever traveled or seen the world. Oh, in the US, this would be $10. I know because I've been to America. And it's like, you're speaking to the child of international diplomats who's like seen the world. And I was just sitting there like, in the US it can be XYZ price, but in this store we price it like this. Well, in America this would be $5 or whatever. And I'm like, well, we're in Tanzania now, baby. So you can deal with the price the way it is. If you don't like it, you can leave. So sometimes there are clients who are very rude and snarky. He's quite snarky in his review. I know it's a lot of money. Like, you don't have any money. So the essay basically decided to let the client know, you're giving me some attitude, I'm going to let you know what's going on. The next one is the Louis Vuitton boutique on Saks Fifth Avenue in the US. I'm very disappointed in this place. We went in 2 weeks ago, we're prepared to make a big purchase. We got to the counter upstairs where 4 employees were standing around on their phones. They never once acknowledged we were there. They were too wrapped up in their phones to even know we were there. So we just left. If they don't want our business, we won't give it to them. We wanted to make a purchase, several $1,000s. That money walked out of the door to the next store. Hope your phones were worth it. Let me tell you, to this person writing this review, Louis Vuitton, Saks Fifth Avenue. Saks Fifth Avenue is my mother's favorite department store. I remember when my mom would go on work trips to New York, she would take me and my younger sister and we'd go to Saks Fifth Avenue. When I think of a department store, to me a department store is Saks Fifth Avenue, Harrods, that kind of thing. And let me tell you, this location, baby, they do not care. Like, that you took your money next door. They're probably like, get out! Like, get out! Okay, my money's leaving to go to the store next door. Tell them we said hi. Get out. They don't care. I'm not saying it's right, but they don't care. The next one is the Louis Vuitton Miami Design District in the USA. I was visiting for a wedding, so my sister and I decided to check out a couple of shopping centers. Every store we went to at the design district, we got great customer service, except here. The lady downstairs was sweet. My sister asked to see other levels. The lady said, please go up and check them out. We go to the second level, nothing jumped out at me. We go to the third level, I see a cute crossbody and then another blue bag. I was checking out the bag. The SA who was working with another customer comes up to the counter and says, I think it's $6,000, but he was still waiting on the other customer. I said, thank you, but I was just looking on the inside. The way he said it was very unprofessional, like I couldn't afford it. Then I see security come up there. First of all, if I couldn't afford it, I wouldn't be in the store. I own 6 Louis Vuitton, so if I wanted, I could have purchased it. It was a real turn off. I told my sister I was ready to go purchase bags from other stores. I don't know. I feel like this one, the person overreacted. I think you overreacted. The SA was coming up to you to tell you how much it was because you were touching it. So presumably you're interested in it. I know in Europe, prices have to be written next to, or in France specifically, the price of an item has to be written alongside it. I don't know how it works in Miami or in Florida or in America. But if you didn't know how much it is, why is the SA wrong for telling you it was 6 bands? Why are you pressed about that? Or maybe you really weren't or couldn't buy it and then you felt triggered about that. I don't know. I think this is just an overreaction. The person overreacted. I don't like when people overreact and then try and make it seem like the SA is being a hater. No, you overreacted. It's not that big of a deal. And also, you don't need to say, I went to the store next door and bought other bags. They don't care. The next one is the Louis Vuitton Champs-Elysees flagship store in Paris, France. This is the worst shopping experience I've ever had. As a frequent client of LV, Big H, Dior, and other luxury boutiques, I've never been treated with such disrespect. Upon arriving for my appointment, the woman at the concierge desk, unfortunately didn't catch her name, looked me and my girlfriend up and down and actually laughed when I said I had an appointment. This wasn't a matter of fashion. In fact, we'd received compliments earlier that day from locals. Well, hang on. We'll talk about that in a minute. And up until this point, every other interaction in the city had been warm and kind. To make matters worse, the person who was supposed to help us was apparently not present. After waiting awkwardly, someone else came out, offered no assistance, and simply smiled before disappearing. No attempt to help. I fully intended to make a purchase and refill my bottle of Imagination EDP, but I chose to walk away. I'll never shop at this location again. Absolutely unacceptable behavior. Look, I'm sorry. I have said this in my videos about the faux pas. You do not make an appointment and fail to buy because you have proven why they were feeling, kind of like aloof about you. We have talked about this before. You never make an appointment and fail to buy. I think sometimes like with these things, the gentleman was saying it wasn't a matter of fashion. Well, we don't know what you're wearing. And we've talked about this before. You turn up looking like a Cabbage Patch doll, you'll be treated like a Cabbage Patch doll. Okay? You turn up looking like Barbie and Ken, you're treated like Barbie and Ken, particularly in Europe, where definitely casual is not the same way as it is in other parts of the world, for sure. Like, I've talked about this before, but like a casual, effortless look in Europe is still very done up. You know what I mean? And it's still very much very done up. I don't know, with this one, I kind of feel like, how much were you going to spend as well on the appointment? I mean, you said you were coming to make a purchase and refill the imagination. Did you tell them you were refilling the imagination in the appointment before like choosing the thing you're going to buy? Because I think if you make an appointment and like, I want to buy something and refill the imagination. No, 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 no. First, commit to buying the thing. Then say you want to refill the imagination, because I feel like they're going to be like, I'm tired. Like, this person's come here to say that they're buying something, but actually they've come here to refill their perfume. So we need to kind of be careful. You know, if you're going to Louis Vuitton to refill something and you make an appointment, make sure you buy other things or you're going to get dragged like this person. I'm trying to remember when I made my appointment at Louis Vuitton. I'm trying to remember. Did I at the Johannesburg store? Is there like a place to say what you want to buy, like on their online appointment system? I don't remember. If there's a place to like maybe say if you have requirements for the appointment, it might be worth saying what you're going to buy. I'm going to try this like when I go traveling to Europe this year. I'm going to make appointments at Louis Vuitton and I'll make it clear what I want to buy, and I'll make sure that it's like, you know, expensive, whatever, not something small, because I feel like that might help not getting dragged. I don't know about this one. I'm on the fence. I don't know. And also the person said it wasn't a matter of fashion. We got compliments. We don't know what you're wearing. We don't know what you're wearing. Okay. Like Glamazons, we need to be Barbie and Ken. Okay. Glamazons need to be Bratz dolls. Barbie and Ken in a convertible. That's a vibe you need to go for in these stores. Same location, Champs-Elysees, Paris, Louis Vuitton. I'm extremely disappointed with the service on my previous visit. While the store itself is impressive in size, agree, the lack of organization and customer support is unacceptable. I spent almost an hour trying to get assistance, asking 45 essays. At one point, the floor manager told me I was third in line. The disconnect between staff and the lack of clear coordination on the sales floor is glaring. I could see many people getting helped almost immediately after entering the store. I've had excellent experiences here in the past, which makes this level of disorganization and indifference more frustrating, especially when I came to make a significant purchase. I wish people would say what they're coming to buy so that we can understand. Also, while browsing the store selection of bags, I was touching the bags to see the interior. You know where this is going. But I was told rather rudely that I wasn't allowed to. It's really interesting. I was confused by this since I've never had this issue at other stores. Additionally, there were several individuals throughout the store dressed identically to the essays, yet none of them were able to help us. I also felt a disparity between the service I received and others. It felt like the essay I worked with didn't want to show me everything, didn't have the best knowledge of the store's inventory. Other people were getting a much more luxurious treatment, such as champagne or seating, while I wasn't. This wasn't the standard that I expected. Yeah, this is disappointing, but honestly, after shopping at this boutique and going there and buying something there, I have to say, and in fact, if I recall correctly, I bought these Louis Vuitton Louise earrings. I'm trying to remember now, it's becoming old. I bought these Louis Vuitton Louise earrings, if I remember correctly. Where did I buy these? Did I buy these at Champs-Elysees or did I buy them in Johannesburg? I definitely bought the other Louis Vuitton earrings I have. The Louisette earrings, I bought them at the Champs store. Maybe I bought these in South Africa. I don't remember exactly. But I definitely think that the problem with this particular boutique is that it is the mother store of the brand for the entire world, number one. Number two, I feel bad for her that she had a really bad experience. But I'm not surprised. And I think it's really unfortunate. Because I think, yeah, you need to make an appointment, and the person in the previous experience did it right, made an appointment, still got dragged. I think that the lady in this review, should have made an appointment. And again, I think you need to make it clear you are buying something today, like at the beginning, and be very clear that what you're interested in, like at the beginning, to ensure that you get treated well. Because I think that the problem with this particular location, for those of you who haven't been to the Champs-Elysees Louis Vuitton, there is so much competition for this particular store. And there are a lot of people who are shopping, but there are also a lot of people who are just looking and not buying anything. This is absolutely the kind of place you can go, look around, and while here the essay was, while here the client's like, she spent an hour trying to get someone to help her, that's because they have a lot of tourists. I'm not trying to make excuses for this because it's wrong. Sounds like this person's a good client and should have been treated better. But they get a lot of people going in there just looking. So they don't want to approach you if they think that you're just looking, because maybe they think that they're bugging you. I was reading like some comments on this like beauty Instagram about the fact that Sephora is going to have these like quiet hours in America for people who want quiet time but still browsing, and then you'll be able to put things in your shopping cart, and it'll have a sign saying "Do not disturb," so that Sephora essays don't approach you. And there are a lot of people saying that they want Sephora to be like this all the time. Well, the reality is, someone's job is to help you. Sometimes someone might let you see something. And I don't agree with this idea that a lot of people have, like, hey, I just want to go to a luxury store and I don't want someone, asking me every 5 seconds if I need help. But then at the same time, if essays give people that like space, people then get mad, like, oh, the essay didn't come to me and ask me if I needed help. I think this person is probably a good client. This person was probably buying something really nice. If this person was walking into the store to buy like a side trunk or a coussin in leather and was dragged, that is unacceptable. But if you are going to the Champs-Elysees boutique to buy the side trunk side trunk or coussin, the side trunk or the capucine, that's what I was trying to say. If you're going to the boutique to buy the side trunk or the capucine, I think you should, if you make it clear, like, hey, I want to buy a capucine, they are going to roll out the red carpet for you. They will literally fly on the wings of a luxury pterodactyl and roll out the red carpet for you. They will offer you the champagnes that they own, boo-boo, like Moet. They're going to crack open that Moet. Yes, God. They're going to crack open that Veuve Clicquot, which they also own. So I think sometimes, like, maybe make it clear. And I think also someone who, like this, who's clearly a good client, make an appointment and at the beginning, be clear that, hey, can you show me the capucines that you have? I'd like to buy one today. I think if you do it like that, you're going to get a better experience. But I think if it's like, I want to buy a bag, they don't know if you're meaning a Neverfull canvas or if you mean the capucine in leather. Still, unpleasant experience. Not surprised. This store is not particularly pleasant, I have to say. I had the worst, same location, Paris, France, Champs-Elysees, Louis Vuitton. I had the worst luxury shopping experience here. I've never experienced service this bad. This is my third boutique in Paris. The one at Vendôme was good. Yeah, Vendôme is a good experience. Vendôme is a good shopping experience. The one near Pont Neuf is amazing. I think she means the one at the Samaritan department store. The essays at Champs were dismissive and complete lacking effort to assist. We had to ask for everything, and she made a small attempt to provide guidance and recommendations. However, the moment she realized we intended to purchase over 10,000 euros worth of ready-to-wear, her entire demeanor changed. Suddenly pushing accessories and bags in a blatant upsell. It was insulting and unprofessional. When I approached the floor manager to address the issue, she pretended not to understand. To top it off, not even the basic courtesy of offering water was extended. This was by far the worst service we've ever had. If you're a tourist, I highly recommend visiting other locations. You'll be treated with respect and professionalism. After this experience, we went to Dior. The Champs-Elysees is worth shopping, but avoid this particular store unless you're prepared to deal with condescending, disinterested staff. I've shopped at the Cartier, the Champs-Elysees. I've shopped at Louis Vuitton Champs-Elysees. I've browsed at the Dior, the Champs-Elysees as well. And what I will say is the amount of traffic that street receives, they just get so many people. The essays do not have patience to be really nice to every single person. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality. I think there are a few things about this particular experience that I wanted to just kind of highlight to you. Number one, if you are buying 10,000 euros worth of ready-to-wear, Louis Vuitton is going to literally, again, they're going to fly on that luxury pterodactyl, honey, like it's one of those dragons from the Game of Thrones, and they're going to literally roll out the red carpet for you. So I'm wondering here, was there like a language barrier or a cultural misunderstanding? Because if someone's ready to buy 10,000 euros of Louis Vuitton ready-to-wear, whether it's menswear or women's wear, I would assume most Louis Vuitton essays are willing to literally, they're going to be like, hey, luxury pterodactyl airways, let's make sure that this person gets what they need so that they come back. So number one, make that appointment. I don't like appointments, guys. You guys, you know how I feel about appointments, but make that appointment and be clear that you want to buy clothes today. Like if I was making an appointment at this store for this time going to Paris this year, I'm going to try some other boutiques. I was thinking about maybe trying the boutique on the Avenue Monte, making an appointment there. I was also thinking about making an appointment at the Louis Vuitton Saint-Germain store. I've heard great things about the Saint-Germain store, and that's the store that's popular with Parisians. So I'm wondering if maybe there'll be a better experience at the smaller boutiques. But I'll still pass by here because I know you guys will want to see it in like shopping vlogs or whatever. I would make an appointment, and upon arriving, I would make it clear, hey, like, I'm really interested in seeing what I think a way of doing this is being like, do you have any new clothes or any new arrivals from like women's wear? Can you show me all of the new things from women's wear? I'd like to buy some new women. I need to update my wardrobe. I'd like to buy some new women's wear pieces today at the beginning of the appointment to ensure that none of these shenanigans happen. I think sometimes as a client, you need to kind of lead the appointment at the beginning and set the tone versus letting the essay set the tone. So we don't know the beginning of how this person was interacting with the essay. The person shouldn't have been treated this way. 10,000 worth of prêt-à-porter, 10,000 euros worth of prêt-à-porter. This person is a serious client. They can be nurtured and they can be pushed to spend 20,000, 30,000, 100 bands on prêt-à-porter. And this is definitely someone who, if this person ends up spending 100,000 on Louis Vuitton ready to wear, this is someone who's going to go to the fashion show, without a doubt. If they spend 100 bands on prêt-à-porter, but they're starting with 10, this is someone who can be nurtured. I think that the problem with this location, particularly this Louis Vuitton Champs-Elysees location, they don't want to invest in the essays that do not, they just want to take your money as a tourist. It's like a hit and run kind of thing. They don't really want to invest their time and their energy with you. Like, they don't want to like get to know tourist clients because they don't feel like you're going to come back. They're like, the tourist says that she's going to come back. She probably won't come back. What if I'm still not working at Louis Vuitton? Do I really want to like invest that time, that energy? So I think sometimes like the experience can be very cold for that reason. And ironically, this is the place where I think I had the worst luxury shopping experience was at Louis Vuitton and Champs-Elysees. And I remember the essay, and I think it was actually when I bought the Louisette earrings. I remember just feeling this kind of bitter aftertaste because I felt like he was kind of like, I was like, oh, can I just see the fine jewelry? I just want to see. And he was like pushing the pieces that were much cheaper, not like the pavé pieces. I was like, oh, those pieces are really nice. And he's like, yeah, but what about you just getting this one? And it's like a piece that I would never take and it wasn't my style. And I kind of felt like he was, kind of saying that. But you can't take it personally because a location at this level, they just see too many people to care. That's the problem about these locations. I feel bad for this person, but that's the situation. The only thing that I don't agree with, because I feel like this person was treated badly, I don't agree with her approaching the floor manager to address the fact that the essay changed once she made it clear that she was going to spend 10,000 euros worth of prêt-à-porter. I don't agree that you should approach the floor manager. You haven't bought anything yet. I mean, you're approaching the floor manager for what? To be like, I don't like the way the essay spoke to me. She's only nice to me now that I'm going to be buying clothes. Of course she's going to be nice to you because you're buying clothes. That's her job, is to be nice to you when you're buying expensive things. You cannot expect people to kiss your ass if you haven't bought anything. I wouldn't have gone to the floor manager. The floor manager paid her dust because the floor manager was like, baby, you haven't bought anything. So I'm not going to like take the side over you when you haven't bought anything yet. It's a tough one. I see both sides, but I don't sit on the fence. I think that Louis Vuitton should have done better. But if you're watching this and you're going to go to the Champs-Elysees boutique and you're going to drop some coins and some bands at the Champs-Elysees store, make an appointment, and at the beginning of the appointment, make it clear what you're buying and make it clear that you will buy something. And don't be vague. Be like, I would like to see what new capucines you have today. I would like to see what new women's wear, what new men's wear you have today, because I'd like to buy some new clothes today. Then you need to make it really clear so they know that you're not a time waster. Don't forget that this location has a lot of people passing through who do not buy a single thing. That's why they're not going to be approaching you, running after you in this location, because they might just think, oh, that person might have no interest in buying anything. Okay, so tell me what you think about this dragging video. I'm playing around with lengths. Do you want longer ones, shorter ones? Some of you were saying, you'd love to see 1 or 2 a week. Yeah, we'll just see with my schedule. Sometimes with my work schedule and with my baby and my nannies and stuff, it just depends. Sometimes, like, for example, one day, one of the nannies was ill, so I carried on with my baby at night. So it just depends kind of on my work schedule. Some weeks are busier than others, but I think I could do like 1 a week if you guys watch them and turn up and leave comments and stuff. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. Join the newsletter. You're missing out. You're missing out. You're missing out. The people who've joined the newsletter, drop some reviews of the newsletter in the comments below, because I feel like if you leave nice reviews, more people will sign up for the newsletter. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.